This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
Just moments ago, polls opened up for the St. Louis City primary. This is a live look at Immaculate Heart of Mary Church in South St. Louis. And coming up in about 60 seconds, our Mercedes McKay joins us with what you need to know about this historic election. But right now, I just want to say good morning to you. It is Tuesday, March the 7th. I'm Rennie Knott.
And I'm Sydney Stallworth, and I'm in for Michelle Lee this morning. And just saying thank you to everybody for watching, especially those who are streaming on 5+. Good morning, guys. Morning, Gary, who's keeping an eye on our road. Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning.
So pleasant.
After
So pleasant and proper.
we had a
We're on
rough
the
start
clock.
this morning,
Hey,
they were giving me a hard time
early
this
in
morning.
5 o'clock. She talked about she didn't have sleeves on.
And it became a thing.
Then you had the Harley and the tricycle.
And the mom tattoo.
You got to go back.
Oh,
and
goodness. I
check
got
it out.
sleeves on
Yeah,
today,
good
though.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it prim and proper right now.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
The
yeah.
weather,
Yeah,
please,
yes, weather. Let's do it. I have to wait for that to roll. There we go. All right. Tell you what, the numbers are colder today, so regardless of whatever kind of sunshine we see, you are going to need a jacket. It is 41 degrees at Lambert, and there are some 30s on the map. Even wind chills right now are in the 30s area wide. Actual air temperature, Alton, Warrenton, you're at 39, but you factor in that wind, and it feels like 34 and even 32 in St. Charles. So cold enough for a winter coat, and you probably will need it today. We'll call it sweater weather. Highs in the 50s, so a cooler, cloudier day. And rain develops tonight. In fact, next several days into the weekend, we have more rain chances to tell you about. We'll talk all about that coming up through this hour. Let's get over to Gary. He's back in the house tracking traffic this morning. Good to have you back, Gary. What's going on in the world of traffic?
Yeah, good morning. Not much going on so far this morning here at 6:02. And we'll start off just looking at the roads. 364, it's quiet. It's dry. The wind isn't an issue. That's nice. There's a stalled vehicle here and there, but like we often mention, if there's a stalled vehicle icon, that means it's a pretty boring morning traffic-wise, which is always a good thing. We will zoom in on where that is specifically. There was an incident on 44 and 270, but it's 44 right now, and that's really the only spot that we're going to continue to see anything going on. Metro East quiet here, also at 6:02, so we'll keep an eye on it and let you know about anything else that pops up the rest of the morning.
Sounds good. Thank you, Gary. Well, we just showed you moments ago, polls are officially open now for St. Louis voters, just as the city is on the verge of slashing the number of wards in half.
Right now, our Mercedes McKay is live for us in South St. Louis of what you need to know as you head out to vote today. Good morning, Mercedes.
Good morning, Rennie and Sydney. We are in Ward 1 right now inside the Immaculate Heart of Mary Church. And as you can see behind me, there are already a couple voters here getting a head start coming in right at 6 a.m. And this is just one of the many polling sites gearing up and getting ready to welcome voters in all day. There are several important offices that are up for grabs on the City of St. Louis primary ballot, including 14 alderman positions. They're calling it Aldergeddon since 28 wards will be slashed in half to 14. Today's election marks the first political contest under the newly drawn ward maps. That means 39 candidates today are competing for 14 seats, including incumbents. Ward reduction changes have been in the making for more than a decade after voters approved the plan back in 2012. Now, it's a pretty historic moment because for more than a century, 28 members of the Board of Aldermen govern the city. 5 on Your Side spoke to Ben Borgmeyer, St. Louis City's Democratic Board of Election Commissioner, about the changes.
The voters do have a lot of questions, are confused about where they sit. So a voter, like for example, I used to live in Ward 13. Now where I live is Ward 1.
The top 2 candidates in each ward will advance to the general election on April 4th. Now, like we have been saying all morning long, polls are officially open and they close at 7 o'clock tonight. So a lot of time to get out here and cast your ballot. And coming up in the next half hour, I'll tell you what you need to bring to make sure you can cast that ballot. Live in South St. Louis, Mercedes McKay, 5 on Your Side.
Thank you, Mercedes. 5 on Your Side has put together a comprehensive voter guide. Just text the word guide to 314-425-5355 and we will send it straight to your phone.
There's a push to slash Missouri's personal property tax, a move that could put hundreds of dollars back into your pockets, but it could come at a steep cost to local governments. Alex Fees is live in St. Charles to break down the numbers. Good morning, Alex.
Sydney, good morning. If you've seen your tax bill, you know this can amount to hundreds of dollars per year. Right now, Missouri taxes your personal property, your vehicle, is at 33.33%. State Senator Bill Eigel wants to cut that rate down to 31% and then adjust how assessors calculate just how much your car is worth. Now, under EIGL's plan, assessors would have to adopt this new depreciation schedule instead of just using the trade-in value, which can be subject to the whims of the market. Over time, it would drive your tax bill down to zero once you've kept that vehicle for a decade. During the pandemic, when the supply chain dried up, used car prices shot up, and people who had cars getting older saw their tax bills getting larger. EIGL wants to show he can cut taxes for the working class. He called the current tax code regressive.
We have the third highest rate of personal property tax anywhere in the country. So we've got a bad tax and we've got a really high rate of a barely bad tax. So the average home in Missouri owns 2 vehicles. And on average, you're paying $300 to $400 per vehicle.
The zoo, the museum districts, the school districts, they stand the most to lose in this. The assessors in the state of Missouri are required by statute to use the National Auto Dealers Association valuation guide. And so that doesn't really give us much leeway or discretion when it comes to placing a value on a vehicle.
Now, that measure may have stalled in the Senate, but EIGL, who is a candidate for governor, insists that it remains on track with a possible Senate vote this Thursday. Now, coming up in our 6:30 half hour, how much this tax cut would cost local governments right off the bat. Live this morning in St. Charles, Alex Fees, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Alex. Also making big news from Jefferson City this morning, a bill returning St. Louis police back to state control heads to the Senate. This comes after the House passed the measure yesterday. The bill's sponsor says he believes state control of the department is the only way to get a handle on crime in the city.
It should never be a political situation to run and fund a police department, and that's what's happened over the last several years. So this will give back the foundation, the basics of funding, the basics of employment of police officers and morale, so they can perform the basic job of law enforcement.
In 2012, St. Louis has voted to return control to the city. This morning, local leaders are frustrated with lawmakers. Mayor Tashara Jones, her office put out this statement saying in part, quote, "This bill reverses the will of the voters instead of focusing on measures that would actually make our community safer. This isn't about improving public safety, it's about power and politics." In a previous interview with 5 on Your Side, Police Chief Robert Tracy said he's had success under local control.
I believe in local control, and so the thing is, that's what people are asking me about. So when you look at state control, I hear positives and negatives, but I can only work in the system that I'm in, and I got to do the best job that I can. And that's what I plan on doing, the city of St. Louis, whether we are state or local.
Now, if the Senate passes this measure and the governor signs it, the police department could be under state control by the month of August.
This morning, Metrolink is holding a meeting to discuss changes coming to its call-a-ride service. The transportation company is adjusting its service boundaries. You can see those in the red will no longer have access to this service. The changes are expected to start on April 10th. But tonight, you have a chance to get your questions answered. There's a meeting from 6:30 until 8 at the UMSL Millennium Student Center. Metro says the changes will help wait times.
All right, 6:09, let's get you up to speed with our weather first forecast. Now, today will be cooler and cloudier, and we do have rain on the way. It should be light, but nonetheless, that arrives tonight into the overnight hours. Tomorrow morning, about this time, some of that rain could mix in with a few flakes in the St. Louis area before it tapers off by mid-morning. The rest of Wednesday is dry, and most of Thursday is dry with the exception of a few spotty showers in the morning, but heavier rain develops Thursday night, and then we dry out for Friday, but our pattern stays damp into the weekend, and it also stays cool, so don't put away those winter coats just yet. We'll check that weekend rain coming up in just a little bit.